to my channel. I'm Joy, and my goal is to help you shift to a new perspective for your journey so that you're not just happy along the way, but that you live with joy. We'll talk all things woman, confidence and beauty and family and mindset with practical applications from the Bible. On my weekly Friday 15 videos, we're going to take a glance at life and what we believe and what God says. And you know what? We're getting ready to jump right in. So come on with me and let's start at the beginning with why a woman. If you're anything like me, March was a reality check that we are almost one third through the year. And am I any closer to my goals? Absolutely not. Yeah, I took a look at January 2021 and I was like, we're going to wait and see. And maybe you were like me, or maybe you're one of those amazing people who have forged ahead and you jumped right in and just went with the freshness and have been consistent. And I applaud you. But the rest of us, and you know what, even you too, who have forged ahead, sometimes we need to take a step back as we're looking at our goals and our plans and the things that we want to happen and that we hope to happen in the year. And let's start at the beginning. So, why a woman? In Genesis 2:18 is where we see that God created the woman. There was already creation. There's the universe, the stars, the moon, the sun, the grass, and the animals. And then he creates man, and yet there was something missing. So I always think it's important to start from the beginning. Sometimes we need to go back to remember what we had, just like when we look at January and what did we write down for our goals, our plans, and are we on track? It's the same thing that we should do with the Bible, and especially when we need to be reassured about why God created us. So, creation is finished in Genesis 1 1, all through Genesis chapter 2, verse 6. He's created man, and he's got man working. Man is the name of the animals, and man is working. I said that again. And then God notices that man has no creature that is like him, no one that is suitable for him. And that's where we're going to pick up in Genesis chapter 2:18. It says, Yahweh God said, it is not good for the man to be alone. I will make him a helper comparable to him out of the ground. And Yahweh God formed every animal of the field and every bird of the sky and brought them to the man to see what he would call them. Whatever the man called every living creature became its name. The man gave his name to all the livestock, to the birds of the sky, every animal of the field. Before the man, there was not found a helper comparable to him. Yahweh God said, caused the man to fall asleep, into a deep sleep. And as he slept, he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh in his place. And Yahweh God made a woman from the rib which he had taken from man and brought her to him. And the man said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh, and she shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. And therefore man will leave his father and his mother and will join with his wife, and they will become one flesh. And the man and his wife were both naked, and they were not ashamed. Now, you might say, I have heard this story a bazillion times. Why in the world is that important? But I think what I just want you to point out, I want to point out a couple of things to you. First of all, God knows something's missing. And although he created man first, he in his wisdom looked around and nothing on the earth in the universe was comparable to the man, the human that he had already created. And so comparable is a key word. I hope you write that down. God calls this woman in this chapter somebody who's comparable, a companion, a helper, suitable, and appropriate. And those are words that we don't often see. We have seen them as something belittling. I think a lot of things in the world today, or over the many years, not just all of a sudden today, has just gradually said, like, yeah, he created woman. And then sometimes it's too like woman was better than man. No, but man needed something, someone who could mentally challenge him. I say that cautiously, but we'll talk about that later. Mentally challenge him to be, think, do, act, respond, develop, and love on him at the level that he needed. And we know that no plant, no tree, and no animal could ever do that for a man or a woman, right? And so those words are great. So God brought the woman, the womb of man, to Adam and just allowed her, I think, to like, he woke up and she was there, right? But immediately he knew, and it wasn't about her nakedness. He knew that she was the creation for him to help him. And I also want you to know, and we'll talk about this next time. I want you to think about how much you can do, how smart you are, how wise you are. And that is because God created you to be that way. He made you comparable to man. He made you wise and smart and considerate and thoughtful and strategic and um, all of those wonderful and beautiful. So let's not forget about that. So a companion is one who keeps company from another, a person who is frequently associated with. So not always a friend, but somebody that's like, thick and thin. Together, they are tight. Um, a helper, also called a helpmeet, is one that helps, aids, and assists. And that doesn't necessarily mean she's dumber than him. So I don't want you to think that God made that dumber. That meant that she could bring some thoughts, some strategies, some questions, maybe that he would not think about alone. And um being suitable is fitting and agreeable. All right. And so I want you to think about those things today, how, what you are, how God says who you are. He says you are comparable, that you have the mental capacity to do a lot of things, and that if you're a woman, you can be successful. If you are a wife, you are doubly successful. And if you are a mom, you are a triple success. And not because having kids or not having children is better than the woman that doesn't. It's because your mental capacity is being stretched at a level that no man could do alone. So, again, my name is Joy McLean. I hope that blesses you today and gets you a kickstart. Feel free to make a comment if you enjoyed this first Friday 15. I hope you'll come back every week and check it out. And feel free to put a comment. Also, subscribe, and maybe you'll get the notification to come back and watch. Oh, feel free to share as well. Appreciate that. Have an amazing day. Remember, we want you not to just be happy, but to live with joy.